Hey Reflections. So I'm kind of just lazy today. It's been raining all day and don't kill my vibe. Oh my god, this is my new favorite shirt. Like, it's over. Like, I recorded a video yesterday and then truth happened. Took some Ormus. Oh my god, whenever I take Ormus, it's just like I gotta hold on to my seat because a whole bunch of information is just about to be downloaded into me. And like, it's that serious, and I'm trying to, you know, just relax and not freak out so much. For me, Ormus is very much psychedelic, you know, like I know to some people it's just salt, you know, extraction, but I am a very spiritual person. I have been eating fruits and vegetables and water and Ormus for the past week. I have been on a very strict schedule when it comes to my meditation, my fasting, well, the fruit fasting and the water fasting and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh my god, it's just so much downloads, and every interaction is truth and a lesson. And so I recorded a video yesterday, went to Whole Foods, decided to celebrate by buying myself some mangoes and kale and blueberries and cherries, and I left, and then I had somebody ask me for money, and you know, I decided to give them whatever I had. And I couldn't give them any fruits because a lot of the fruits weren't very ripe. I kind of felt bad, so I was just like, well, what else could I give them but my time? And he sat there and we were just talking, you know, we were just talking about life. And he reminded me a lot of my father. My family and I don't really have a good relationship. Well, it's because of this, and I'm seeing this a lot in people these days. And I see it when I observe people out in their natural habitat. So I go out in a park or I start walking and I start looking at people, and all I could see is the social programming, the mind control, the mind programming. And I was looking at this woman, and all she was droning on about is HR, and it's okay if you fire somebody because you don't get along with them, you just don't like them, but it's not okay to fire them if they're black, if they're a woman, if they're a Christian. And I'm just like, what? Okay. And she was just telling, like, you want to be a part of the system. It's really hard to be a part of the system. You have to take meaningless jobs and intern jobs and basically live like shit for 20 years, but you know what, one day you will have that government job and it'll be your everything. And I'm just like, whoa, you know, like, wow, like, wow, people are really into their programming. And a lot of the questions have, you know, have been coming up as wealth, you know, wealth. Some people think that I'm wealthy. I kind of beg to differ. My rich friends would laugh and be like, that bitch is broke. And, you know, like, I'm like hood rich, you know what I mean? Like, I have enough to be happy. You know, I've built a lifestyle for myself that I have enough to live in my means. Like, I love fresh fruit, and I love to plant, and I love to have time for myself so I could do that. I love to meditate. And I was talking to this guy, and I was just like, why are you, like, how is your life? You know, like, what were you doing before this? And he was like, I was an engineer. And we started talking about programming. We, like, actual, you know, he was into computer programming. We started talking about the internet, about technology. And, you know, I was, just giving him all this information that like he could use. And as I was talking, I was hearing myself, and alarm bells began to start ringing, and I was like, oh shit, I really know what I'm talking about. And I've been living a pretty free lifestyle for the past like 3 years. I never have to work a lot. I do what I gotta do when I gotta do it. Like take some jobs when I need to. I paint, I smoke a little pot now and then. I do some shrooms when I want to. I do some DMT, and I just chill. Like, I'm not worried about where my next meal is coming from. I'm not worried where my next paycheck is coming from. I'm not worried about rent. I'm not worried about anything, because I know that I'm living in my divine path. Like, I've been in worse positions, and I was talking to this guy, and I was just like sharing him my story, because I was like, you are in this moment in time, and I have been put here to show you what you have to do, and like, that's how it is. It's not that I was better than him. And I say this to explain to you, I was seeing a reflection of myself in him. You know what I mean? Like, I was seeing myself in him. I was seeing my father in him. I was seeing my mother in him. And he said something that struck me so hard. He said, I had gone through a divorce, and I had to pay for both my daughters' college, and I lost all my money, and I lost everything, and now I'm on the street, and I don't have anybody to help me. And I know that what he wanted me to feel for him was sympathy. And I saw myself in him. I saw myself in him, because I shared this with him, and I'm going to share this with you, because there's a lot of shit in my life that's like a lot. You don't understand. A lot. Like, I've been through a lot of stuff, but I am an alchemist, and now a wizard. And I've been an alchemist for a long time, but I've just become a wizard, I'd say, after my DMT trip. Like, straight up. Like, that was it. That was the god upgrade. That was the goddess upgrade. That was like hello, you're God. What the hell are you doing? You could create your own reality. Every single person is just a carbon copy of you in a fractal infinite reality, and we're living in a simulation. And we started talking about simulation theory, and I was just like, and like, when you're just talking, then you talk to somebody that is in a certain point in their life where they could change it, and they could become an alchemist, and they could start changing their reality. I literally felt like I breathed life back into him. Like, that's how I felt, man. Like, that's how his eyes just grew like 1,000 times, and he's just like, oh my God, are you telling me I could just chill? Like, I don't have to worry? And I'm like, I was there, man. And I told him I was homeless for about a month, and I'm so lucky. I am so lucky. It was in a point of my time where I wasn't really getting along with my mother. My mother was severely mentally ill. She did a lot of things that are very questionable, and I thought she was evil. Like, I thought my mother is evil, and to this day, a lot of my family doesn't talk to my mom because they thought she was evil because of the things that she did to my sister and I. And I don't think she's evil anymore. I don't think she's evil anymore. I just feel bad for her, like, but I know that she's here to teach me a lesson, and I have to learn from her. I feel so bad for my family, like my mom and my dad. It sucks, because if they only knew what they were, like, if they only had respect for themselves, and like knew what they were worth, and I was a very regal child all the time, like just very into, like, I was reading philosophy at like 10, 10, 11 years old. But that's because I was going through so much hell, and I knew that there was magic. I knew that there was something other than this evil in the world that you're seeing. I'm getting so emotional because, not for myself, but for people, for people in general, because they're hurting. My mother is suffering, my father is suffering, the guy on the street was suffering. All my reflections are suffering, and I have it so good, like, I know, and he said at that moment when his eyes, like, lit up, I got so emotional because he taught me something, I taught him something, we both acknowledged that, like, and this is like sad tears and happy tears. First off, I'm on Ormus, so I'm really, really, I feel everything, and I feel good and I feel bad. So these are happy tears and sad tears, like, at the same time. It's kind of weird, but it's just like everything's like aligning and everything's balancing, and like every single, like, I have a hard time having just a conversation, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a good person to have like just conversation, because I only speak truth, and I've only done that for the past, I'd say, 3 years, and it's been very difficult. I'm gonna do a video on how not to talk to sleepers, because, whew, oh my god, yeah, they do not react nicely when you talk about their social programming, because first they think you're crazy, or if they know, then they get mad because there's ego. So here's the thing. We right now as a society, and I learned this at a very young age, are slaves, and we are basically chained to our, where we work. And wow, so he realized that there's more he could do with his life. I realized that, I was just seeing a reflection of him, of myself, of my father, of my mother, of everything, and there's just so much truth, and I just gave him so much, and he gave me so much, and it was so beautiful. That was the moment where I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking wizard. Like, yes. I am so on this shit. Like, I'm really happy. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of you guys. If you're doing something that you hate right now, you don't have to do it. Don't. Find something you love and start creating that your life. Even if you are indoctrinated into the programming and think you can't, you can. Trust me, I did it. Like, I was a bartender, I was a bottle service girl at nightclubs. Like, that's what I used to do. Then I was an executive assistant. I did real estate. Like, these are all things I did. And then I woke up and was like, wait a minute, I don't have to do anything? And like, this whole entire year, didn't really do much, just chilled. Money came, like, no biggie, no problem, so that's what I want to share to all those people that are kind of shaming people because they have. And it's just like, wait a minute, this is just me showing you, hey, this is a reality I could have. Like, I could eat kale all day and I could just chill, you know what I mean? Like, I could just chill and I could do entheogens and I could be healthy. And if you guys knew how important you guys were, there would be no crying about, me. Like, I don't cry for me anymore. And, I could feel everything. So, anyway, reflections. I'm gonna get going. I hope you guys are having an awesome, awesome, awesome day. Bye, Reflections.